No, what? He wins. Like, stop tripping. And if you're this close, if he's this close to getting you over the hump, then I don't think the solution is to find that person that's that magical 4% better than him.
Welcome to the Shadow League Locker Room. My name is Jonathan Wells, former running back for the Houston Texans and also MVP for The Ohio State University. Today, man, we have a very packed show. We're going to get in today about the NFL. It's talking about expanding into a 18-game season versus a 17-game season. Also, we're going to get into Mike Tomlin. He's never had a losing season in Pittsburgh, but the fans want his head right now, so we got to talk about that. And also, finally, CJ Stroud, man, is going to go out for his second year. Now he's going to go out to face Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, what do you think an upset would do for his legacy? And listen, today, helping us to break all of this down today, we have former defensive end Stephen Weatherly, a graduate from Vanderbilt University, drafted by the Minnesota Vikings in 2016. Man, welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you. What's going on?
Glad to be here. You're hilarious. I'm actually one class short from graduating from Vandy, so stay in school.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Well, listen, okay, so we got some serious topics, man, we got to get into, man. We're going to jump it off today with this 18-game season. Now, the NFL, they always talk about, protecting players and, all of this stuff with the concussions that have come up over the last several years. Do you think that this is a safe do you think? I want to know your opinion about this. What do you think about the NFL going from 17 games to potentially 18 games next season? What do you think about that?
No, I absolutely hate it. So, fun fact: I was actually a player rep for each of the teams that I played on in the league, and so I represented that particular team when it came to decisions for the NFLPA. And so I was there during the CBA when we renegotiated in 2020 during COVID. Okay. And so that's when they wanted us to go to 20 games. And so the owners don't really care about the players on a health standpoint, because the same time they said, let's move the regular season to 20 games, they also wanted to cut benefits to past players. And now I'm a part of that. We're like our group, you know what I'm saying? Right. So for both of those things to happen simultaneously, I think was a clear, I know where you stand when it comes to player safety, both current and former. And so, it's very disrespectful in my opinion. I don't think it should happen. I think it's trending in the wrong direction if you're talking about player safety. But if it were to happen, then you got to throw in extra bye weeks. You know what I'm saying? If you are going to force another game onto these guys for more money, cool. I'm pretty sure fans would love one more opportunity to cheer on whomever. But as a player, I'm going to need extra time to heal and bounce back. If you're going to force another game, the whole football season is just going to be a longer thing, which I don't think fans are going to be upset about personally. They'll take longer football.
So let me ask you, do you think that with them canceling a preseason game, you don't think that has any effect? You don't think that with them having one less preseason game, you don't think that helps?
Oh, preseason games weren't the problem. It was the joint practices. Those were games. Those were sometimes the fans were there, but those were the competitive periods in which you were evaluated and determined if you were going to make the team or not. And so we can trend towards no preseason. So what? You cut the preseason down to what? This was brought up, right? You bring the preseason down to one preseason game, but 2 joint practices, one with the team, and then you just pick another team and just do a series of joint practices with them. Won't be televised, but it'll be private showings for the teams and stuff like that. You extend the regular season to more games, but then you throw in an extra 2 bye weeks in there, right? Mm-hmm. And so the preseason starts the same time. Regular season starts a little bit earlier. So instead of around September 11th, it'll be the beginning of September, closer to the start of NCAA season. Okay. Will be the start of the actual football season. And then there'll be an additional 2 bye weeks thrown in there. So a team would either have 2 or 3 bye weeks, depending on how everything shakes out. So it's it can get longer if you take out the preseason games, but you're talking about wear and tear.
No, that's doing too much. That's doing too much. Yeah. Let's go on and move on, man, to this next topic, man. We're gonna get into Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. Obviously, he's never had a losing season since he's been a head coach in at the Steelers. But Steelers Nation, man, they calling for his head right now. I want to know how you feel about that. Do you think that consistency overrides Super Bowl rings, or do you think that he's being overvalued?
That's a good question. Me personally, I'm big on he hasn't had a losing season.
Mm,
Um, I get what the people want. The people want what Patrick Mahomes has been tasting since he's been in the league, right? They want the parade. They want that there. And fans think that there is a coach out there that could take these similar pieces, situation, how the ownership is, which is another factor that the average fan doesn't think about. Ownership in your relationship as the head coach with ownership matters.
mm-hmm.
An average fan thinks that there's another guy out there, pedigree or not, college or proven pro coach, that can come in and handle all these factors so much better than Mike Tomlin has over his entire career, that will then elevate them over the hump and take them there. And I'm like, that is such a finite pool of individuals that I don't think it's going to happen. And
Right.
so where I stand on it is take it. And if you want more, pour into them. What does it take for you to get over the hump? What do you need from us as fans? What do you need from us as a community to help bring? And this is what it really is. If you want to win, you got to bring the talent there. If it's not just the money, it has to be the community. And so that's where the average fan can do their job to bring in and entice a highly touted free agent, right? Because it's not Miami, it's not LA, it's not New York, it's not a huge market. It's Pittsburgh. And so if the community rocks with the team, and if a dude goes there and he feels at home and feels good, you can sway a big time dude to come there, and then you'll win that Super Bowl. So it's like you can complain about the guy and then force him out and hope that the next guy is 100 out of 10, where this guy is a 95 out of 95 out of 100. Hope you get a 100 out of 100, or you can do your job to try to help. And I think if you're a fan, the best thing you can do is make your city one of the best cities where everyone feels like they can have a home there. So,
So
nah,
you're saying there's no case for Mike Tomlin to be fired right now.
no, what he wins. Like, stop tripping. And if he's this close to getting you over the hump, then I don't think the solution is to go find that person that's that magical 4% better than him. I think it's at the point where it's so close, anything will help, including getting just a little bit better talent. And if the difference is money and community, like, it could potentially be that good. So it's like put your energy elsewhere if you want to win that bad, is what I would say to the Steeler Nation.
Got it. I appreciate it, man. Listen, okay, let's get into our third topic, man. We got my Houston Texans, my Buckeye brother CJ Stroud, man. He's about to get ready to go take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs after coming out last week and upsetting the Chargers. Man, tell me what you think that CJ is going to have to do to go out there and potentially upset the Chiefs as they look to go for their third straight championship in the National Football League. What do you think that the Texans and Stroud is going to have to do? And if he's able to pull this off, what does this do for CJ Stroud's future moving forward?
You know what's crazy? I think this is one of those rare situations where it's not going to take a lot, but it will do everything for you. So this is one of those, like, the closest thing to a low risk, high reward thing there is. Because in my opinion, this variation of the Kansas City Chiefs is not that incredibly dominant, like blow you out the water, unstoppable, too many pieces to count offense as it has shown itself to be in the past. I think a lot of these games this year were down to the wire, lucky blocks, the thing went your way. It was a lot of close
referees.
Thank you. A lot of close things fell your way late. And then with that being said, what the Texans need to do is play complete football. The fire's never. I'm sorry, I was about to say the fire's never out, but that's insensitive. The Texans have to play a complete game, right? Like it's done's never done. It's never a knockout. You got to take it all the way. And so in football, they say keep your foot on their neck. Because they do have fighters. They do have people who are known, like, comfortable with winning. And so if you give them a chance, like they've been showing over the regular season, they will keep themselves in the game. At the last minute, something's going to help them out. Yep. So the Texans need to play a complete game and make sure you take it from all the way to zeros on the clock. But when they do that, You just beat the multi Super Bowl winning champs, the incumbents, the two timers. You stopped the three-peat, right? You stopped the three-peat. That's going to be everything for you. In a place like Houston, with a young talent like that, you talk about being able to bring in nice free agents. That's the recipe for a winning culture for a dynasty. And so, um, long story short, if CJ Stroud can do it, he has his own dynasty on his hands. Assuming he then rises that success and takes the next step, it is 100% a key piece needed for it to be a great story for CJ Stroud. So it'll be a definite feather in his cap. But he just needs his team to play complete and know that they touchable. At the end of the day, the Chiefs are touchable this year. And so someone's got to prove it. Why not you?
No doubt about it. I appreciate that, man. Okay, listen, we're going to move into our fair or foul segment, okay? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you, is it fair or foul? Here's how it works. I'm going to throw out some of the hottest takes in sports right now, and I want you to tell me if it's fair if you agree, or if you don't agree, I want you to say it's foul and it's completely out of line, but I also need to know why, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. We're going to go with this one. Deion Sanders and Shador Sanders are skipping the NFL draft to host their own event in Colorado. Fair or foul? Is this a bold move that empowers their personal brand, or is it disrespectful to the tradition of the NFL draft?
Fair. If you are a player and you have worked up to the point where you have a brand and you would like to do it, then you do it. If you want to have that moment be more than just the, I think, 4 or 5 people you can bring with you and have that moment share with an entire family, you should do that. So whether it's to build your brand or just to have it with more people, feel free to enjoy your moment the way you want as an athlete. You've worked hard for it. Celebrate it with whomever you want, whether it's walking across the stage and shaking Roger's hand and looking out to the world and saying, I made it, or standing up and having that moment with 50, 100 of your closest people right there in the room. Do your thing, big dog. Do your thing.
Beautiful. Okay, next. RG3's rookie season in 2012 versus Jaden Daniels' rookie season this year. Fair or foul to say that Jaden Daniels has had a more impactful rookie year? Tough one.
Foul, because we're comparing it to something. You know what I'm saying? Someone did it right before him. And even though Jaden Daniels has done a lot to talk about the Washington's teams, especially when it comes to quarterbacks, he has definitely reset that standard, but it was set by a dude before. So I would definitely compare it. It's good. There were good numbers, but Jaden definitely reset them though. Cool. With respect.
Last one. Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. They both have a lot to play for this weekend. So is it fair or foul to say that if either one of these guys takes an L, that is going to be significantly bad for their legacy moving forward?
Fair. Fair. You got weapons, and everyone's looking at you to see if you're going to be the one to take them, not just to a handful of dominant wins in the regular season, but can you give us the wins when they truly matter? Like, can you give us a Lombardi trophy? And so if you continue to tell your people, I'm the guy, you got to prove the guy. Everyone can't be the guy at once. So that's the reality. But you got to fight for it. And this is one of those moments. So fair. It's pressure, but that's why you the man. That's why you the multi-$100 million man.
Correct. I like it, man. Listen, Steven, man, it's been a pleasure having you on the Shadow League Locker Room, man. I appreciate you. It was a great interview. Listen, you brought the heat, my boy. Listen, let everybody out here know where they can find you at, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you got going on. Let them know, man.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just on Instagram at Stephen Weatherly, Stephen_Weatherly. And then my foundation is the SW Foundation. So that's where you can find me. That's
where we at. Well, listen, man, it's been another great episode here at the Shadow League Locker Room. And that's going to wrap it up for today.
Cool. Oh, there's my dog.